Hello, my name is Artez, and welcome back to another podcast episode of Insure Your Success, the journey of an entrepreneur, where we have real conversations. And today, I got another special guest. This is someone that I've been knowing since she was pregnant with her daughter. How old Ari is now?
16.
16. So I've been knowing her for 16 years.
But we're going to say 17 because I'm pregnant for a year.
For you. So I've been knowing her for 17 years, y'all. I've been knowing her for 17 years. Where she was pregnant with her first and only daughter.
Yes.
I have watched this young lady defeat and overcome many challenges and obstacles, but always carried it with a smile. She was a single mother. I watched her take care of her parents. I watched her work into metamorphosing into a very, very successful entrepreneur. So at this time, without further ado, I like to welcome my friend, Miss Iyonna Martin, to the podcast. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And this gonna
I'm
be
happy I'm here.
And this gonna be real entertaining. I promise you all, it's gonna be real entertaining. So Iyonna, I want to first start off by asking you
Okay.
to briefly tell people within a minute or two who you are and what you do.
All right. Who I am Iyonna Martin. I represent Essential Insurance Benefits Agency. And what I do is help people with obtain affordable insurance for life's foreseen and unforeseen moments. That's what I do.
That's what you do. Okay, awesome. And so let's talk a little bit about your background. You are a Grady baby.
Wait a minute. But the old folks tell me, but due to my age, I was born in the old building, the brown building. So in the original building.
In the original building. Okay, that's a distinction. And for those who don't know, because y'all, it's a badge of honor when you're born in Great. Like New Orleans, we say, I'm a charity baby, charity hospital for my New Orleans folks out there. So to tell people, what for they don't know, because they may not know what a Grady baby means. What that means when you're a Grady baby.
A Grady baby means you are an Atlanta peach. Atlanta. Metro Atlanta. The heart of Atlanta.
Okay. So you're not
from Atlanta.
Oh, so you're not
not from the outskirts of
Savannah, none of that. Unlike me, of us who migrated here to Atlanta, you are original.
I'm like the Apollo log.
Oh.
Like when you hit the Apollo, when you step on the scene for the first time, they like rub the log. They're gonna make you official. I'm official. Like you just official. Rub me.
Okay.
I'm official.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your childhood, what it was like growing up in Atlanta.
Oh my goodness. Growing up in Atlanta, when I look back at it, it's a bittersweet, and it was fun. I am from old Atlanta. Where I grew up at doesn't even exist anymore. I grew up in Grady Homes, Pool Creek, Inglewood. You'll have to Google and YouTube these places. These places, they were rough. It was a rough neighborhood. You put your clothes on the clothing line. When you wash clothes, you got to sit outside by the clothing line and watch your clothes dry. Because if you hang them up and walk in the house, your neighbor may be wearing your clothes. It was rough. However, like I tell my daughter, because I grew up in the projects, it was fun because even for a person who didn't have any siblings, because there was so many kids in the neighborhood, they were just like your siblings, like your cousins or something like that. Because it was always you my cousin or you my brother in God's hand. So we grew up past that. It was a lot of violence, of course. I did lose some friends. Um, One of my friends got shot in the head just going to the candle lady. Another friend got shot in the stomach. Um, so to be able to look back and to see that I was able to make it out of that, and walking down the street to go to school, you got to pass all these crackheads and pros, you know, pros, the working women of the night.
I told y'all this is gonna be entertaining.
uh, and but we
Mm.
I made it through. So when I see some of my friends and we're successful, I'm like, man, we made it through. We were that percentage that made it through, and I'm just grateful for it.
Mm. So let's talk about that percentage that made it through, because you may have someone out there who are in similar situations and in similar environments. What helped you, now what guided you, or what gave you the inspiration to just make it through? Because most people don't make it through.
And I'm gonna tell you why. What helped me get through were my parents, because my parents, they did have some structure and they had some discipline. And even though my parents weren't together, and I wasn't in the household with mama and daddy, daddy was over here with his wife and started a new family. Mama was a single mother, and my mother also had mental health issues. Okay. So that I could have really took advantage of, because she wasn't really enforcing me to go to school. She actually wanted me to stay home because of her mental health issues. Didn't want her to be alone, and she was afraid for me to leave the house, that something would happen, and I would have to regroup my mom and tell her everything's gonna be okay. I'll be back home or whatnot, and made it through with that. But when she was on her medication, she did encourage me to go to school, encourage me to be in activity. So that's something that's very important, to make sure that child is not idle. I was the on the cheerleading team. I ran track. I played basketball. I was very active. So I didn't have time to linger around and sit around on the side of the walls or the projects or whatnot to see what could we get into to do something. Because everyone know an idle mind is gonna lead to mischief.
And out of mind is a devil workshop.
Okay. And so in those at that time when I was in school, the kids who were not in activities, they started making up games. So and they were like, okay, and it was their clique where they would go around jumping people or breaking car windows or breaking apartment windows of their homes. So they already setting themselves up for failure. But these were still my friends. I would still stop and speak. They would be on the side smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. Um, then my dad, they were very supportive of me going to the game, um, being active. If school called, they went to the school. They even went to the school when the school didn't call, just do pop-ups. So those type of things, like, okay, I have to go to school because I don't know when my daddy gonna come. And I better not be in class or be on the school premises, and he has popped up at that school. So for my parents being involved the way they were, that kind of helped me to become structured.
So I want to talk a little bit. You mentioned about your mother
Mm.
dealing with mental health challenges,
Hmm.
which I don't think is talked about enough,
Oh,
particularly in the Black community. Mental health issues, dealing with that at a young age. You were still in high school, dealing with that at a young age, and that's tough.
I dealt with
Period.
that before high school.
Before high school, so you was dealing with it at a real young
Yes.
age. A mother, father had, was remarried,
Mhm.
just you and your mother in the house. Your mother
And my
dealing
big sister, and thank the
and your
Lord for
big
my big
sister
sister.
in the house, but having a mother with mental health challenges at such a young age and having to navigate through that. Talk a little bit about that. Like I said, I don't think that's talked about enough, but talk a little bit about that and how did you manage to navigate through that?
Well,
at such a young age?
I had a big sister. I still do. I have a big sister. We're 6 years apart. So my mother, when I realized, started having mental health issues when I was 8 in the third grade. And I came home one day. My mom was on the sidewalk. She had urine on herself. She was standing outside. I probably did it multiple times because it was a strong smell. My sister and I had to give our mom a bath. So to have children to give your mom a bath at 8, you know, wiping down everything. So that was a game change. That was strange. My dad came in and got full custody of me. She eventually, of course, got admitted into the hospital. Back then, in the 80s and 90s, Grady had the eighth floor. So you like you go on the eighth floor, you at Grady, you in the eighth floor, that's the crazy floor. Back then we called it crazy. Okay. So that was embarrassing to be able to say that your parent had mental health. And I think, well, no, not what I think when I think about it. When someone say family members have mental health, most people are embarrassed and they hide it and ignore it, where they would ignore the person. I was actually just talking to a friend yesterday. She and I was talking, and she was mentioning how her cousin mom had mental health, and she had a big house, and her mom was homeless. And I said, I understand that. My mother was in the same situation. And the family's like, oh, she should get her mama. Is she a bad daughter? My sister and I, we were called all that. I had my own apartment when I got older, of course. 2-bedroom apartment, 2 bathroom. My sister had 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. My mother had plenty of places to go. We had rooms for her. But because she wouldn't take her medication, you don't understand what that's like when you have someone is up at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, slamming doors, walking around, making noise, walking in and out the house. I remember one time when I was 14, my mom was left the house and then come back for 3, 4 days. But guess what? I still had to go to school.
Mm. Mm.
I had to go to school because I knew if I missed school, because I had to protect my mama and I had to protect myself. If you miss so many days of school, what happens? Your parents are going to get a phone call. And back then, the school principal will come to your house and see what's going on. And we don't want him to come to the house. So I have to go to school. I have to maintain my grade. Because if my mom get locked up, I have to go into a foster care system. Everyone knows what happens when a child go into foster care.
Right. Right.
And eventually I knew she would come back or she'll find her way to Grady on the 8th floor and they'll call the house and let me and my sister know
What's going on?
what's going on. So going back to with the family, they would be embarrassed and try to hide it. And going back to the conversation when I said when I was speaking to my friend and she was saying how her cousin wasn't helping with the mom, I can relate to that because the family, my family would talk about my sister and I like a dog. Oh, they be some bad daughters. They won't let their mama come stay with them. She got an extra room. She got extra rooms. But here's the thing. If we're family, because we all want to be family when it's to our advantage, right?
That's right.
Or when we're in need, right? We want a family member, right? We want that support from family, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So if you feel family, right?
Yeah.
That the daughters, my sister and I, was so bad and mistreated our mama. You her sister, you her cousin, you her niece and nephew. Why she couldn't come to your house?
Right.
That's family, right?
It's family. That's right.
Family.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Y'all talking about it. Y'all say she
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
didn't want to come to your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what she was doing in our house? What you say? Man, so scratching the back of your neck, Grace.
Yeah. 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 People don't realize. People don't
It,
realize it. You know, it's you know, a lot of people talk the talk, but very few won't walk the walk, as I say. So coming up in a difficult environment, neighborhood, growing up with a mother with mental health issues, most people will look at that and say that's a tough situation to to survive, to come out of, and still be productive and successful. So as you was going through that, let's talk a little bit now. You getting a little bit older, and you
mhm.
kind of got your first apartment. What was that like? What was your first job, and what led you to get to like your first, your first, first job, first apartment, coming out of that environment and that situation?
Okay, so here's the thing. My first job, Wendy's. Cashier, first job, my pay $4.75 an hour.
Mm.
Yes, $4.75. Then they boosted me up because I was a little good worker. I went to $5. I was like, oh, $4, who got $5 on it? Wendy's did. So, went to Wendy's. Also, not just mom had mental health. My dad was had a drug addiction
Mm.
during that time. I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really was dealing with.
Yeah, I was.
Wow, working at 14, mama helped mental health issue, dad had drug problems, rough environment.
Yeah, yes.
Wow.
I just remember, okay, mom had a car. I wouldn't drive to work because it was too far. Because of course I wasn't,
That's a key.
but I would drive that car to go to the grocery store, get some groceries, and come on back to the house. But what ended up saving me for real, during that time, my sister, what was that? Was 19? No, 18. So she was 18 and my brother-in-law was 19. They had married. They had moved to, my brother-in-law was in the military, moved to San Diego. And at this point, because like I said, mama was doing her thing, dad was doing his thing, and I was living with my dad and his wife and my sister and stepsister. But of course, it wasn't right. But it was somewhere I wasn't on the streets.
Yeah.
That's what I could say. But it wasn't a good situation.
Mhm.
So back then, I had to call Colette. So I'm calling my sister Colette. Sis, I can't take it. It's awful. And she was like, you know what? You're gonna get your check when the summertime come. I'm going to sing for you. You come out here and stay with us. So anyhow, we get past all that. Summertime come. I took my last check from Wendy's and I used that to, and my sister and my brother-in-law purchased me a plane ticket to go to San Diego. Was there, stayed, went to school out there for a year. It helped get me on track. I wasn't too far off because I still continued to stay up on my schoolwork. But it was a different experience. Had a lot, and ended up meeting a lot of different friends from different cultures and ethnic groups. So that was a great experience for
Good
me.
experience. Yeah, good experience.
Yes, it really
Diverse.
was.
Yeah.
And then so I came back once my parents got themselves together. Actually, they ended up getting themselves together around the same time. I came back the following year, stayed with my mom, went back to working at Wendy's. They allowed me to come back because I was a good worker.
Mm.
And went from there. And it just kept blossoming and continued to be active in high school. Because at this point, of course, I'm in high school. Continued to be active on a drill team. I played the violin.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's something new.
So played the violin, started getting scholarships to go to different colleges for playing the violin and being on the dance team. It didn't work out because college was still too expensive and those scholarships wasn't enough. So I ended up going to your college, Georgia Perimeter, went there, and this is how I ended up coming into sales. So it was not a health fair, but it was a job fair. and this company called MCI. You remember MCI?
I remember MCI.
The long distance.
Before long distance was free, you had to pay for long distance.
And I was selling that stuff too, baby. I'm like, look, you get 5 cents nights and weekends, 10 cents nights and weekends, 5 cents on the Saturdays, and night start at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. to 6:59 a.m. So I was selling that. And the rest is history for myself.
For yourself. So let's talk a little bit. So I kind of met you. Let's fast forward a little bit. I met you. You were pregnant. So that's another dynamic that typically changed people's perception. Of course, you went through what you went through as a child growing up. Now you're living on your own, making a way on your own. Then you get pregnant. So when you got pregnant, how did that kind of shift your mindset?
Oh, that shifted me because I was a party girl.
You was, bankhead bouncer.
Look, matter of fact, when I got pregnant and I was in the summertime, I was supposed to have been doing the Coyote Ugly in Nevada, dancing on top of the bar or something. My friends like, I thought you was coming. I'm like, I thought I was too. I was sitting at my desk like this.
Big and pregnant.
Big and pregnant. So, but that did slow me down. It did help. I needed it though. Because a lot of people used to always say, Iyonna, you need a baby. And I'm like, I don't need no baby. I got 4 children, 2 nieces. I do my thing. And I send them back home to their mama and them. But it did, my daughter have allowed me to gain patience. A lot of people don't think that I have it, but I have some patience. Mm-hmm. And another thing, I have more willing to understand people more.
So that's how that helped you. So you had your daughter, and then at that time, like I said, when I met you, you were pregnant, but you had got into the insurance business. Because I met you through some mutual friends.
Oh, right.
Shout out to Dr. Mike and Tracy.
Yeah.
So I met you
today.
Okay, see Dr. Mike. That's our eye doctor, y'all. Who do them. So, if you need some glasses, go see Dr. Mike.
Yes.
Real good eye doctor there. So I think they was having some type of event. Mm-hmm. And I went to the event and I kind of met you there. And they kind of introduced me to you. And they told me you was I don't know at the time if you had your license or you was interested in getting into the insurance business. And
I was getting I was working with Primerica.
You was working with Primerica at the time. Shout out to Primerica. I mean, even though I'm not affiliated with Primerica, but because of Primerica, I got my insurance license. So I'm always grateful for that. So kind of met you at that time. You had your license. What kind of sparked you to maybe get that license? Like I say, you was pregnant. Did that make you say, look, I got to find some other opportunity to make money? But what kind of led you maybe to that road?
Okay, what sparked me to get my license was 2 reasons. One, I was working doing customer service for corporate, a mortgage company, and I ended up transitioning with the customer service. I was just getting burnt out. I was a top customer service person, so when you are really good, they will push more calls to you. So where I would take 80 calls a day, where someone else may take 40 or 50 calls. And they didn't want to pay me. So then I reached out to get another position within the company. Mm-hmm. Got another position within the company. Enjoyed that for a minute. Then of course I excelled with that as well, because you gotta excel before you start asking for some more money. Asked for some more money. They told me it wasn't in the budget. I said, okay. I learned how to do cross training, learning other job functions within the company. I would train people, and again, I would excel with having 100% quality. So when I would go back and say, hey, I just learned how to do this job function and that job function. Mm-hmm. And I've learned, and when new people come, you want them to sit with me for me to train them. Mm-hmm. So that means you like what I do. Mm-hmm. Can I get a promotion? Oh, no. And they start hiring people off the streets. But you want me to train a person that you're hiring off the streets. But do know they are gonna be on C spot run. You ain't gonna be looking at spot running and jumping hurdles.
Right.
I'm not gonna train you on that. Okay. So when they did want to promote me or pay me extra money, I had to say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be working for them anymore.
Mm.
I'm not gonna do any more overtime. I'm not going to do any cross training work when someone in another department doesn't come to work just because I know how to do their job. I'm not going to go over there and do that.
Mhm.
And I remember, because even though my mother had mental health, she was highly educated. Master's degrees and bachelor's degrees
Wow.
in marketing.
Wow.
And I remember when my mother was on her medication, she was stable. She took me, and that's how I got to Primerica. She took me to this guy named Winston Nunn. He was very high, top person with Primerica at that time. Stayed in this big old mansion, Stone Mountain. And he's passed away now. Miss him so much. And I said, you know what? I remember him.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember mom getting into the insurance business, and she was trying to get me to do it. This is when I was 18. She was trying to present it to me, but I couldn't focus on it, right? I said, I got to do that. And I need to do something that's going to give me residual income, because I remember mom and Mr. Nunn saying that they get residual income where I can set up a policy, and as long as I answer these people, I'm gonna keep getting paid because they're gonna keep paying their premium. And I said, that's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to some people. He was no longer doing Primerica anymore. So he referred me over to someone who was. And I started under their training and started getting studying. I was up. I would get up like I was just anxious. Like, I'm gonna get my license. I would wake up at 2:00 in the morning, start studying, doing practice tests and stuff on the system. And then once I had the baby, and when I went to the school, not the school, but the training, because the training was 2 weekends. So you do your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I was pregnant during that time. And so the instructor said, Miss Martin, come talk to me. This at the end of the course. He said, come talk to me. I said, okay, what's going on? Now mind y'all pregnant. And I'm like 7, 8 months pregnant. I'm tired. So that means I was dozing off in the class. I'm going to the restroom so many times. And he said, listen, I know you have this, but you may want to wait before you take this test, because you can't stay in your seat long. Keep going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You keep moving and fidgeting because this baby is all over the place. He said, I would just tell you to wait till after you have the baby, because I'm like, I'm ready to go now. And I waited. And it's a good thing I did. So afterwards I got a little scared, and my sister was like, are you gonna take the test? You be waking up 2, 3:00 in the morning studying, go take the test. I'm gonna get the baby and you're gonna have to go take the test. And that's what she did. And I went and passed.
That's the test.
And
Hey.
it's been on and
It's been on and
popping
popping.
since
So
then.
let's talk about on and popping. Let's talk about the on and popping part now. So you went through all these challenges as a child, got pregnant, sat through a course, 8 months pregnant, got your insurance license and everything, and got your career going. But you were still working at the time, because when I met you, you were still working.
I was still
And
working.
so a lot of times, what many people struggle with is how to make that transition from a job to full-time entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because you have a lot of people that's working,
Yes.
but they really inspire to be an entrepreneur. But the toughest challenge is, how do I, this job, which is security in most people's eyesight.
Correct.
Like, hey, I still got bills to
It
pay.
is.
So
And healthcare.
Healthcare, I got my health insurance there. I got young kids. I got this and that, my retirement, my pension, whatever the case may be going on. but I'm really sick and tired of this job. I really want to do what I love to do,
Mhm.
but I'm scared, right? I'm scared, and mainly because of financial reasons, most
Right.
folks. So talk to me a little about, how did you make that transition from, because you had a young child, you had to take care of her. At the time, you was, helping out your mother a lot
Mhm.
because she was still going through her challenges. So how did you juggle all that between the mother that had mental health issues, you have a young child, you got you still helping your daddy out from time to time on some things. How did you manage all that to work a job, work your business part-time, and still deal with all the other things you had to deal with?
I read my employee handbook.
Mm. Y'all take notes now. If you got a job, read your employee handbook.
Oh, for real. I read my employee handbook. You got to read it because all of that, what you said, plus the aggravation that my supervisor was giving me, I said, no, I need more time. And the way I had to get more time, I read the employee handbook on how I can take off from work. It's going to tell you about short-term disability, long-term disability, and FMLA, family medical leave of absence. That's very important. So and you have to have an understanding, make sure you understand it. So
Listen, now she giving y'all some game for y'all
I
who
am
got
about
these
to.
jobs. Y'all take some notes. Take some notes on this.
I'm
Now.
gonna speak very slow because I don't want you to miss
Take some notes
beat.
for those that's on the job and you try to figure out how to work your business. About to give you some
And
game.
I promise you, on Sweet Baby Ray, did you just say Sweet Baby Ray? The barbecue sauce. Yes, I love it. It's good. On Sweet Baby Ray, and I'm telling the truth, right?
You
I'm
telling the
about to
truth.
tell
I
the truth,
witnessed
right?
it. I witnessed it. What she saying, y'all, I can tell y'all that I witnessed this. So what she about to tell y'all is the truth. It ain't no lie. I personally witnessed this.
Okay. So you read your employee handbook. Every job is gonna have one. It's gonna talk about FMLA, family medical leave of absence. What that does is reserve your job. Okay. It doesn't pay you. It just make it to where when you're not at work for so many days, your job cannot fire you.
Mm.
So it protects your job. The next thing you want to do is get short-term medical insurance. Okay. Short-term medical insurance is what pays you. Again, short-term medical insurance is what pays you. The company that I work for, it was a good company. It just, their leadership wasn't good. Because I still would have been with that company if the leadership was good. Okay. That company paid for my short-term medical insurance and long-term medical insurance. When I look at other people, and I help some of my friends and family members choose their medical plans at work, they have to pay for it, and I don't want to do that. You better do it. Mm. It's less than $13 a month. It behooves you not to do it. Short-term medical insurance is going to pay you between 60 to 70% of your income. So you're not going to receive your full check. You'll receive between 60 to 70%, depending on your company and their guidelines. What you're going to do, I don't even know if I should say it, but I'm going to tell y'all, I want you to get out of that job. I went on a stress leave. So remember, family medical leave of absence. It doesn't have to be it can be your sister, your parents, your grandparents, your children, or yourself. Okay? That you need to stop going to work because I have this family medical leave of absence I need to take and I need to focus on. So between what I was going through personally, I did a stress leave. No one, your supervisors, HR cannot question you on why you're leaving. I would kind of wish they would have asked, what's wrong? I would have sued them. Didn't even get a, what's wrong? Little tap on the leg. What's wrong? Okay. Couldn't even get there. I throw my shoulder out. Touch her. But no, if they ask you, it's a lawsuit. Okay. So they're not going to ask you what's wrong. You get your therapist. If it's for stress, if you're stressed out, and sometimes your job can stress you out. So it's not a lot that you're making up. They not stress you out. I would leave work, and when I come back and my supervisor got on my nerves or I got on hers, I would tell, I'm getting on your nerve? And she was like, Iyonna don't. Because when I left, I'm gone for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm gone. Okay. So you're going to do the family medical leave of absence. It can be for you or a family member. If it's for you, you don't have anything medical like a surgery or something like that, that'd be considered, or a family member have a surgery or a mental health breakdown episode, and you need, those are family medical leave of absence examples. Like I said, again, if it's personal, you don't have any family members that may have a situation for you to help take care of, you could put it on yourself and do a stress leave. So you gotta go and directly to your HR and apply for the family medical leave of absence. They're going to look to see if you have PTO, that's personal time off, or vacation time. If you have vacation time, because most short-term medical plans, it will have a 7 to 10 day waiting period, meaning you would not get paid during that time. So, with that being said, if you feel that you're going to be doing this, what I did was the overtime. Again, I did overtime for 2 to 3 months, and I filed exempt. So it wouldn't be taxed, because I know I'm not going to be here for a few weeks. And I would not file exempt longer than 3 to 4 months. 4 months max, because you don't want to get in trouble on your taxes. But when you're filing exempt, do your overtime and work it as much as possible. Before you leave, you take yourself off of exempt. So again, that's going to be either your 3rd month, no later than your 4th month. Okay. Then you have your therapist. So if it's for you, you do a stress leave. You get your therapist. It can be they call it like a license. Some of them not doctors. You don't need a doctor therapist.
Licensed therapist.
Just a licensed therapist.
Yeah. Shout out to my daughter. She about to graduate with her degree in therapy, family therapy.
All right. Y'all better get with them. They go your therapist. Okay. So you get your therapist. You take off the exempt. You have your therapist lined up, like have them on board. Listen, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Be ready, okay? Call HR. Go ahead and put in your FMLA. You're gonna go ahead. Now it's 2 different ones. So FMLA and short-term medical is not the same. So you're gonna apply for FMLA and you're gonna apply for short-term medical. Remember, the short-term medical, you're gonna have a lapse between 7 to 10 days where you're not gonna get paid. They're gonna ask you, you have vacation time. Do you want to use that vacation time for those 7 to 10 days so you can get paid during that time? Of course, you're gonna say yes. Also, I want you to keep in mind, when you're off during that time, you still got to have health insurance. So you need to make sure you have your money to pay for your health insurance, because it's not coming out of your check. Because there's no check for it to come from, because you're not working.
Because you ain't working.
So you're going to have to pay your health insurance directly to the insurance company that they're using. Okay. When you do that, they're going to be looking for jargon, such as, you don't want to have your therapist say, okay, we're going to take you off for a full 4 to 6 weeks straight. No, that's too many weeks. So you want to break it down to like 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. They want to be able to see that you're going to possibly, wink, wink, get back to work.
Okay. So you breaking it down. Okay.
I'm telling you.
Uh,
So,
uh,
and I would do this at least like twice a year.
yeah.
I was doing it so much. I did. My friends would make a joke and say, "Iyonna, you don't go to work." I'm like, I work. When I looked at myself, I'm like, I don't. I only work like 5, 6 months out of the year, but I needed my time. I needed my time.
So let's talk about that because you gave some valuable information
Hmm.
that could kind of help, but you got to do something with that time.
You
Right.
have to do
Now
something with that
that's the thing
time.
because uh, you had a legitimate reason because I'm
I
going on
did.
record saying that it was a legitimate reason to take off that time. But as you was taking off that time, you also utilized the time because I think
I
what I see many
maximize every
you
moment.
have to maximize the moment. So what I see a lot of people that struggle who have jobs, I think they don't maximize the time when they're away from the job. I can remember when I came in to the business, I started out part time like most insurance agents, and I would tell people I would go to work and then I would come home and shower because I was working at a shipyard and, at that time and doing a lot of blue collar work. So I would go to work 7 in the morning, come home at 3, had to shower up and put on my slacks and my shirt and
Right.
jump into my bit. I mean, that's all that I know. These days and times, people let the job consume so much. It's like they don't have
Mm-mm.
no energy to do their business. So it requires a little sacrifice. So let's talk about that. So you kind of working that job, uh, you utilizing that time to build your business. At this point, you kind of started your own insurance agency. At that point, you was kind of making a transition from that.
Right.
So let's talk about from the time that you started to make your agency and how you completely, when you left the job, did you get fired? Did you quit? But how did you make that transition from this to say, hey, I'm going into this thing full fledged. I'm gonna open up my own agency full fledged, and what that was like. Just because now everything on you now. There's no more job. There's no more sick time, no sick leave, no stress leave, no none of that. So talk a little bit, about that.
All right. So again, had to maximize the time. So when I was working, had the FMLA, I would call you, tell you, I'm about to get ready to get off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm about to get ready to get off. We got to go to work. I need some leads.
yeah. You would.
I would go and pay for the leads. We would run them. I'm like, okay, I need you to come with me. You came to a few appointments with me. We door knock. After that, I hit the boots. I was running. So once I started seriously paying attention, taking in all of the training, being consistent with getting the leads, doing the follow-ups, you pushed me out there actually. You like, I'm about to stop doing this and push me and said, you got to go get your agency. So got the agency, had to do the EIN and the tax ID numbers and get the bank accounts for the business and get the name and make sure no one else had the name, the whole process. And then I just started working. I started venturing out just not only for life insurance, 'cause we were just doing life insurance.
Back then, yeah.
Life insurance. I started networking with other agents. And don't be afraid to network with other agents. I think people shy away from that. Like, oh, I'm an insurance agent. I don't want to talk to them because they're an insurance agent. I see that. So I was able to
Definitely
network.
got to get better at that, at networking with one another.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes. And I end up meeting another Bridget. Yep, Bridget got me into ACA.
Mm-hmm.
Started doing more the ACA. What we were doing the health insurance too. We were doing health insurance too. But the ACA really took off. So 2014, 2015. So I would definitely.
Y'all don't know what ACA is, Obamacare.
Yeah, Obamacare.
Some of y'all don't know what
Okay.
ACA is, Obamacare.
Obamacare, Biden care, Trump care, whoever in office,
Well,
that's
whoever
who
in there,
cares.
that's who
Wink, wink.
cares.
So
Yeah, I don't know about the Trump care, but okay.
that's what they say. So all right, so we went did start doing that, started selling. and started being consistent. At this point, my daughter is 6, and I was tired of paying people $5 an hour to keep her. And I said, you know what? Ariana's gonna have to come and hustle and get in these trenches with me. So we would have flyers made with my pictures on. No, I had my picture on the flyers then, but I had flyers made. And so my daughter and I, we would go to the flea market, barber shops, hair salons, boutiques. I really focused on people, entrepreneurs who I knew needed the Obamacare because they didn't have 9 to 5 that provided to them.
Keep in
So
mind, so no social media, no none of that, just straight boots on the ground grinding, which a lot of people don't really like to do these days. You know, just straight grinding. You know, so yeah,
straight
straight
grinding.
grinding.
And I
Yeah.
had my presentation. I even had my daughter to have a presentation. I'm like, here go you some flyers. You gonna go over here and talk to people. And she's like, mommy, and I'm like, I'm gonna push you out. I remember I had her in the barber shop, and I'm like, go ahead and do your spiel. And she's like, mommy, they ain't listening to me. They still talking. I said, because you didn't command the room. And I got on that little 6-year-old. I'm like, you didn't command the room.
Teaching her.
I said, you dress cute. I got you all cute. I would have us matching and stuff. We would look cute. And I'm like, command the room and you make them stop and listen to you. And I showed her how to do it and I commanded the room for her. And then the second or third time, she commanded the room, got everybody's attention. And it just started, the referrals. Just, I showed trustworthiness. So even in the funny part about like when I go into the flea market, I would they have the Africans in there with the African hair braiding and stuff. And at first, if they don't like you, if they don't know you or feel that you're trustworthy enough, they will act like they can't understand English.
Mm.
They were like, speak their language. Wait a minute, you understand English? I said, you talking to the other lady. And I would go back to the lady who trusts me, and she would yell down the hall, la, 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 and say whatever she said in their language. And she's like, okay, now go. And I would go down and they would just welcome me in. And then they would just yell through the hallway, letting people know that I was coming. Like, she's coming down. Y'all get the insurance from her. And that's how it really built up by being trustworthy and coming through.
So let's talk about now where you at in your business. You have a business that earns about 6-figure income, an insurance agency. You getting into now, hiring staff, something I've been on you a long time, right?
I've been afraid though.
Hire staff. Instead of just being a solopreneur for a long time, but real successful. And I'm proud of y'all what you have accomplished.
Thank you.
Getting into bringing on some other agents and mentoring some other people and always sharing your knowledge. So let's talk about where you at right now in your business.
Where I am now, making more partnerships with more agents to be able to partner with me in my agency. And I just hired a personal assistant.
Yeah.
And she was on me. She's like, you need me. I'm like, I know, but I'm scared. And she's like, what are you scared of? I'm scared you're going to mess up my account. And she's like, I'm not going to mess up your account. She fingerprinted with the state, used to work for the DOJ, Department of Justice. So she's like, Iyonna. I'm like, I don't care. You don't work there no more. So it really had me to have an anxiety. I'm like, I'm about to have, I don't even want to talk about it right now. Give me 2 months. Give me 2 months. And she followed back up with me in those 2 months. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Can I get about 2 weeks? Give me 2 weeks. And she's like, I can't believe it. I'm like, please believe it because I am scared. So, but she's on board now.
Okay.
Yeah, she is on board and ready to make this happen.
That's right.
I already got a systems and access to some things. I'm slowly inching it through.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So in closing, as we wrap up this podcast here, where do you see Iyonna Martin and I ask everyone this, in the next 10 years, what do you see Iyonna Martin in your business? Where you see yourself at in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years, Iyonna Martin, essential insurance benefits. Plan to have an FMO. I need to be like y'all, swooshes checks. I want to be shocked too. I want to lean back.
Okay.
So yes, I am planning to expand to be in not just in the metro Atlanta area, but maybe out like in Statesboro, and just in other places. So people hear essential insurance benefits. They already know I'm branding more. I do the customer appreciation gala for my clients. Like,
Real
hey.
nice customer appreciation gala. Real nice. Top tier, you are top tier for her customers that she put on. Top tier, nice hotel, live band, live entertainment. Everybody
Some
dressed for the
giveaways.
T, giveaways. She really does a excellent job in it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I want them to be like, oh, I'm with essential insurance benefits.
Benefits.
That
That's right.
part.
That's right. Well, I have no doubt that you will be a FMO. I have no doubt that you're gonna take things to another level. Uh, Much success to you. We're proud of what you're doing. I watch you come from here to to there in your growth and your evolution. And I appreciate you for stopping by and Show Your Success Podcast. Yeah. Get tongue twisted. Show Your Success Podcast to share with the crew.
Give you that cheerleader spirit.
Yes. So thank you all for watching another episode of Insure Your Success. Thank you, Iyonna, for coming on. If you could do me a favor, please subscribe, like, share with other entrepreneurs. You can find us. You can find us everywhere on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. So make sure you go out there and you listen to the podcast and share it with other inspiring entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And so until next time, this is Ortez with Insure Your Success. I see you on the next episode. Peace
All right.
out.
2 fingers in the peace sign.